Shalom. This is the season for miscarriage and sacrificing of babies. A lot of women are having a lot of miscarriages and just think it's nothing. No, it is something. The womb is a sacrifice, it's an offering. And the more you lose your children, is the more other people get promoted. That's how they gain more demons. And when you understand the four cardinal points, which some of you might look at as the Roman cross of Christianity, right? The sun goes in four main directions: east, west, north, and south. Now it's in the south, right? In 3 moons, it's going to go back to the starting point, which is a new beginning. So people are doing what they're doing now. They're performing all these rituals, gaining more demons, so they can look forward to new and greater blessings coming spring. These four cardinal points are appointments. These are the heavenly timings. These are heavenly timings. Genesis 1 and 14. He gave us the sun, the moon, and the constellations for appointments. You see, Satan manipulated that. He's still using it, but he gives you something called a calendar. Yeah, but if Satan was going by his own calendar, then he would have a specific date for his events. You notice sometimes he cannot give you a specific date. He have to say, okay, the last Thursday of such and such, or after the first full moon at such and such. So if the 21st of March was the beginning of the year, you should have a specific date for your Easter. But that's inaccurate. So they have to wait until the sun returns to its starting point, and then they'll wait for the full moon, and within a 7-day period of that full moon, that is when they choose the day. Why? That's very calculated. You don't know, but we know, and they know. There are three spirits that create everything: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When you go to the constellations, you're dealing with knowledge. And when you have knowledge, you're going to need understanding to understand the knowledge. So the moon is a representation of understanding. Now, when you understand knowledge, the next thing you do is what? You apply it. So what is the application of knowledge called? When you apply what you know, it's called wisdom. It brings forth manifestation. Now you start to see result. For example, if I say to you, this is the cure for ringworm, right? I'm not giving you knowledge. For you, this is information, but for me, it is knowledge. Why? Because I've proven it. Until you physically take this and apply it, then it becomes knowledge for you. Knowledge is an encounter. It's a revelation that you get from an encounter. I cannot impart knowledge on you. It is something you have to encounter for yourself. So that's how wisdom, knowledge, and understanding works. Knowledge is the healing of the nation, but you need understanding of it. So those elements are representation of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And once you understand the laws and the principles of the laws, guess what? You can create, you can manifest many things. What the enemy did was to manipulate the principles, manipulate the laws, and they give us a different knowledge, a different narrative. And this is why a lot of things do not work out for us, because the principles that they gave us is already manipulated, so it's going to produce a different result. It's just like if I say, if you put the red paint, if you put the red color with the white color, it's going to give you purple. Just an example. That is the law that manifests this purple. Any manipulation to this is going to produce a different result. So you're going to violate that law. So if you add red and white and another color, guess what? You cannot get purple. So You're transgressing that laws of principle, and that's the goal of the enemy, is to get us to do what? Violate the principles given to us by the Most High. And that's how he reigns. It doesn't matter if you serve him or not. His goal is for you to violate the principles of the Most High. So if he can take the appointments of the Most High and teach it to us and give us a different narratives of the intention, guess what? We're naturally going to be violating the laws and the principles of the Most High. Most of the things that we're doing today, it came from the practices of the Illuminati. These people came from Britannia. Their ways of worshiping was of the ways of the Druids. It's the same thing. All they do is just change names. So whether you call them Illuminati, whatever, it's going back to Britannia. These are ancient practices from Kemetic culture. But then the magicians and the sorcerers, they couldn't do all the things that Moses was doing. But guess what? They've advanced. So if Moses should come now and do all those miracles, guess what? They can do it too. And not only that, because remember, they did not have the ability to undo. So Moses turned the river into blood. Yes, they can turn it into blood, but they couldn't turn it back to the natural state. Moses do this, they could do it too. They just couldn't turn it back to the natural state. Now, guess what? You have a lot of demons healing you. A lot of demons are doing deliverance. And the more people believe in these things, guess what? Is the greater they become. He said, the waters make him great. Satan feeds his people the power, and what they feed him? The glory. So Satan can give you a demon, another demon, another demon, and that's how you climb in rank. All you need to do is glorify him. It doesn't matter how much you glorify him, as long as you turn your heart from the Most High. As long as you violate the principles and the laws of the Most High. That's what he cares about. Satan isn't trying to overthrow the Most High. He wants to be like him. Not to overthrow. There's no war between God and Satan. That's not a biblical doctrine. He wants to be like him, not to overthrow him. Because if he say it was possible, what would he have to imitate? Because he cannot create anything. So he sits in the seat of God. He sits upon the holy mountain. He wants to be like God, professing himself to be God. One of the biggest events in the Western religions is Easter. You know what happens? That's when Satan manifests himself. Why you think it's called Good Friday? What do you think the 3 days represent? Who is making their entrance? Who is appearing unto his people? Satan doesn't work like the Christ. The Christ can manifest in me, you, all of you at the same time. Satan does not have that ability. And that he knows. So he's trying to corrupt all these vessels because he knows that the Christ can inhabit all these vessels at the same time. Now, if we defile our vessels, if we keep going against the principles and the laws, it would defile us. And the Christ cannot inhabit something that is defiled. So he uses those 3 days, the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, to make his appearance. Now, at all these events, One of the main thing, one of the main things is fornication, because after Satan leaves, that's when all the orgies take place. All these different sex things, humans with humans, humans with demons. I know a lot of you don't believe in that, but just because you don't believe something, does it make it a lie? Or just because you believe something, does it make it true? Reality is what it is, regardless of whether we believe it or not. The Most High warned us not to consume anything with blood. At these orgies, you get all these different things to drink mixing with the blood, and sometimes they grind out the things that they offered, the people that they offered, especially like the babies. They grind them out and they mix them with jugs and so forth, and they drink them. That's a whole different level. That's when you become more powerful in that kingdom, in that territory, because you're possessing greater levels of demonic forces. But we're living in a time where people will do anything for power, anything for money. The truth about that is people think that they're really using the demons. Satan and the demon. Satan and the demons are using them.